Aluminum objects that form words. Shadow words. Sculptures that are shaped in such a way that their shadows create sentences or pictures. But light is needed to reveal these hidden images. Where there's light, there's shadow. Belgian sculptor Fred Eerdekens is interested in their interplay. He beams light onto the objects at a 45-degree angle.
I want this to be a correct T. It looks like a little bit like a T, but not exactly. So when I could turn it a little bit, the T will appear. When you have light and shadow, there's only one place where the shadow can be when you have a fixed point for the light. So that's the general law of physics, and maybe you can fight with it, and but you can't. You always have to listen at a certain point.
Fred Eerdekens studied sculpture and graphic art. He's been interested in the interplay of light and shadow since 1982. He came up with the idea for his text installations by chance.
I was working with leftovers of metal sheets and so on, and all of a sudden I saw the name of my daughter, who was just born. Her name is Line. Line. And I saw her name in the shadow. And that was the start of it.
Fred Eerdekens lives and works here in Hasselt, a town near Brussels, surrounded by his works, large and small. This one is 20 meters long and made from acrylic resin covered with gold. Here it's not the light, but the correct viewing point that makes the invisible visible. His works have been exhibited in museums and galleries across the world, and they're also part of large private collections. The smaller installations can fetch up to 30,000 euros. He often uses aluminum and copper wire, but he also employs other materials to write his shadow messages, thoughts about his life and the world.
I read all the time. I always think in words, so they just pop up, and and afterwards it's hard to say where the idea comes from.
One thing is certain about Eerdekens' work: in the beginning is the word. This time he wants to write a short story, one that consists of just 2 words, short and story. He's pretty much optimized his wire bending technique, which seems quite straightforward.
When I bend this, I bend it like I write. I have to bend it with the beginning of a word. When I want to make a short story, I start with the S of short.
As soon as the first word is finished, he begins looking at the message under the light. Fred Eerdekens is a perfectionist. He may destroy his wire objects and start over many times before he's satisfied with the result. Fred Eerdekens' art is more than just sculptural forms. It's poetry, thoughts conveyed in light and shadow.